Thank you to all of our distinguished guests and speakers. It is definitely a privilege for me to speak about two of my heroes today. I'm growing up in a household and I'm in an education system where the two names were mentioned in reverence so often that I've always felt fortunate to claim my heritage to both these great souls. Mahatma Gandhi, by virtue of India being my country of birth, and Martin Luther King Jr. by virtue of my being an American. Now, many of my generation ask, why should we, the people of my generation, remember and honor these two men of way past? When I opened my eyes, India was already a free country and a booming economy. I don't even know what it was like when Gandhi led the masses to freedom. And the same way, I have not seen what it was like before or during the civil rights movement. I have not seen the kind of insults and oppression that people were subjected to. I was not there. It seems like a distant past, and it's even hard to believe that it ever happened. So neither the Indian freedom struggle nor the civil rights movement invoke the same feelings in me that they do in my parents or grandparents. Of course, you might say that we have to remember them for what they stood for and the changes they made to humankind. But what really strikes me more and makes me think about them is the legacy of their approach and method to address the problem. It is how they sought and achieved their goals. It is the way that they were able to transform ordinary men and women to be the strongest soldiers for their cause. It is the simplicity and yet the effectiveness of the ways in which they inspire people on both sides of every issue to get to the cherished goal. The principle of nonviolent but very assertive civil disobedience and the righteous fight for a noble cause. Even a young person like me can see that this world is fraught with problems. The troubles that face us change every century and every decade and every year. But people who end up on opposite sides of the conflict see the same cycle repeat itself, leaving many people with very little to call themselves human as they give up practicality, love for their neighbors, and a sense of the value of life itself when they strike out mindlessly, based only on disrespect and violence for who they consider the enemy. But thanks to the teachings of the great men we are here to honor today, my generation has the means to escape that vicious cycle. The achievements of Martin Luther King and Gandhi didn't just earn rights or independence for their people, they taught the world how to deal with the obstacles humanity faces in a way that unites people behind a good cause rather than creates more destruction than there already is. The lives and achievements of Gandhi and King would not only be relevant in times of conflict for my generation. Both of these men maintained an unwavering belief in the need and possibility for people of all creeds and colors to come together, especially when times call for it. But even outside of their struggles, Gandhi and Martin Luther King frequently stated their beliefs that though each culture and religion is unique and beautiful in its own way, we must always remember that all humans belong first to humanity and then to smaller groups. They believed in the universality of some morals and institutions, and felt that no matter how different two groups seemed, respect for each other could bridge a gap of any size between any two human beings. I feel that the new generation must embrace this philosophy, for in a world in which distances seem to shrink with every advance in technology and communications, it's becoming more and more apparent that what occurs in one part of the world has an effect on the entire world, and what happens to one man or group or culture or race affects all of humankind. The actions and words of Martin Luther King and Gandhi will have relevance and effect throughout the existence of humanity, for as long as there are still problems to be faced, or on the positive side, as long as humanity remains a profoundly diverse entity, the words of these wise and honorable men will always provide guidelines for mine and for future generations as to how to pass the hurdles that every generation must face. Those hurdles that are passed down from generation to generation. If mine, or any generation, can manage to hold true to the messages of Gandhi and MLK that we revere so much, then that generation will be ensured of an existence marked both by the advancement of society as well as equality and prosperity among all people. And it is the fact that we continue to honor those messages at events like this one that give us hope that the blessed generation that will finally achieve what has been mankind's goal for its entire existence can be my generation. Thank you for the opportunity.